What's up, guys? Rick here with your DFS preview for this week's RSM Classic. Do not fast forward. I know a lot of you like to fast forward through the housekeeping items. It's why I've snuck them in between the $9,000 and the $8,000 section. But this is very, very important. I only make this one announcement once a year. So do not fast forward, please. Here's the big boy. Here's what you've been waiting for. The once a year promotion to get a subscription to rickrungood.com, my data website that you see in every single video, is live. It's live right now. I've done it the last 2 years. It has been wildly popular, and here I am to risk it all again at the RSM Classic. So here is how this works. And before I even jump into this, this is the only promotion I give. I don't have sales. I don't have promo codes throughout the year. There are no discounts. I believe that the service is very fairly priced, and there's no need for me to really play the promo code game or anything like that. So this is really the one chance. Here are the rules, and here is how this is going to work, because you've got to bet me for it. That's right. If we're doing a discount, it's got to be fun for me. It's got to be fun for you. Let's bet on it. You need to sign up for a 6-month or a yearly membership before 7 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. That is when the RSM Classic kicks off. If you are not in before then, sorry, you're out. And then depending on whatever the winning score is, you're going to get that percentage back in a refund next week. We're going to start on Monday. Might take a day or two. I don't know how long it's going to take. They all have to be done manually. So here's the deal. If the winning score is 18 under par, you get 18% of whatever you paid for your 6-month or your yearly membership. You get that back. If it's 20 under par, 20%. 25 under par, 25%. 6 under par, 6%. I don't know. Maybe it'll be really windy. Last week would have been 10%, 10 under Jason Kokrak. So whatever the winning score is, that's what you're getting back. So you've got to bet me for it. And I will cross my fingers and hope for not a -30 week. So again, you've got to purchase a 6-month or a yearly. This is open to new and existing members. I hate those promotions that are only for new members. I hate that. Whether it's like your cable company or whatever, it's kind of insulting to like current members. So if you are an existing member and you sign up, your current membership, it just gets extended. I'm just going to put the time on the end of it. You're still going to get the refund. You're just going to get an extended membership. So we'll figure all that out next week, and it'll be a case-by-case basis, but everybody's just going to be extended, so don't worry about that. You have to go to rickrungood.com/RSM promo. The link is in the description. You can click there. You'll see both packages. One is for 6 months. One is yearly. Sign up for those. I know if you're already an existing member, so I'll take care of it next week. But this is it, guys. This is the one bite at the apple a year. I think last year we did it at Mayakoba. That was the last event of the swing season, and Victor got us for 20%. So we'll see how it goes this time around. That is numero uno in terms of announcements here. Number 2 is the site that you're signing up for, rickrungood.com. I'm constantly trying to improve. So a little bit of an announcement. What you'll now see on the golfer profiles and in the Holy Grail, and it will make its way throughout the rest of the website, is European Tour data. That is correct. I have loaded in 10 years of European Tour data. So if you go to a golfer's profile page, let's stick with the Viktor Hovland example, you will see his win on the European Tour amongst his other results on the PGA Tour or wherever else he might be playing. Those are the only 2 places he's playing. There's also Korn Ferry Tour information and Champions Tour information, but the 10 years of European Tour data is now loaded into the site. Have fun with that. That helps to complete the picture. If you're like, wow, rickrungood.com, that sounds great. I see Rick use it every single week. Looks awesome. 1, thank you. 2, you can win a subscription. We're just going to give it all away here. Just giving the whole thing away. So there are 2 ways to enter to win a subscription to rickrungood.com. Last week's winners, Michael Neary and Paige Jacobson. I've reached out to both of you. We'll get you set up with those accounts. Here's how you can enter. And hey, maybe you're already a member. Maybe you're then taking advantage of the yearly and you win this. I'll just keep extending your membership, right? Like, what do I care? I'm just going to give it away. I can do anything I want. It's called rickrungood.com. It's awesome. So here's how you enter to win. if you're on YouTube, make sure you've liked this video, you are subscribed, and you comment below who you think is going to win the RSM Classic. The other way, the easier way to win, go over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating and review, say something nice about the show, leave me your Twitter handle. That's the podcast version. It's called 300 Yards to Unknown. It's linked in the description. You can find it. It'll take you 2 seconds to enter both of these, give you a chance to win. I'll announce it again next week. Additionally, if you think I'm done with winners, I'm not, because Jason Kokrak goes out and wins Houston, and listen, I don't like to toot my own horn. We're scorching hot right now. The community is scorching hot right now. The swing season with sizable wins on Burns and Hideki and Hovland and Kokrak. It's incredible. These runs don't happen often, and we will get into a time where we are as cold as ice. But right now things are good, and we have to celebrate those times. So normally I would just pick out 2 names to shout out and say, hey, congrats on your big win. There were so many of them. I tried to pick like 5 or 6. I don't know. Here we go. Scott Young, his best finish ever in the Jukebox 14th. Congratulations, Scott. Brendan Kelly, $10 into $5.50 and outright on Jason Kokrak. Mark R said he paid for his Rick Run Good subscription with a Kokrak win, a Henley top 10, a Scheffler top 5, and a Burns top 10. Congratulations. Dave turned his $1 into $61. Christian won the birdie. Yeah, he's a day one guy, has been a subscriber for a while, turned his $3 into $2,500 with the Rick Run Good avatar on DraftKings. Congratulations, Christian. Sully nearly wins everything in the Drive the Green, finished 2nd, 15th, 24th, 27th, 29th, over $10,000 there. Luis, $10 into $510 on an outright. There were so many more. Those are just the ones that I picked out to try to show small stakes, low stakes, single bullets, whatever. Congratulations to everybody. Jason Kokrak makes it another community win. It's been great. And then finally here, thanks for bearing with me. Finally, the live chats for this week. The Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern live chat, all things RSM Classic. That's always going to happen. The 8:15 p.m. Wednesday, Jock Market Power Hour, RSM Classic, all things stock market DFS. That's always going to happen. Cut Sweat is back on this week. Sorry about the last minute notice last week. Cut Sweat is back on this week. Shooting for 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Might be a little bit weird because we're playing 2 courses. More on that in a second. But I'm going to shoot for 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday. All of those are on the Rick Run Good YouTube channel. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for all your support. Just because the season is ending does not mean there's not going to be contests. We have the Hero World Challenge. We have European Tour. We have Bryson and Brooks. We've got evergreen content coming. There's going to be so much I'm excited about. Updates to the website. I thank you all for your support. Let's jump into this week's RSM Classic. The course, or courses, I should say. Yeah, here we go. A multiple course event. Start to get used to these. We're going to see a handful of them early in 2022. We're going to have Pebble Beach. We're going to have Torrey Pines. We're going to have the American Express. These multi-course events. So get a little bit used to this. We have the Seaside course. That's the host course. That's the course that we have the strokes gained data from. And then there's the Plantation course, which is the easier side. So the way that this will work, you will play 1 round on Thursday or Friday at each course. So if you play the Seaside on Thursday, you are playing the Plantation on Friday and vice versa. Then there will be a cut after everybody plays 1 round at each. And then the host course, the Seaside course, will be the course that they use for the final 2 rounds. So if you play all 4, 3 rounds are happening at the Seaside course. That's the one we're going to primarily look at here. It's because we have the data for it, all that good stuff. So both of them are Bermuda grass. Both of them are relatively short. The Plantation course is a par 72, 7,000 yards. They're going to probably destroy that side of it. The greens are going to run a little bit slower over there. They're going to run a little bit faster at the Seaside course. That's a par 70, 7,000 yards. So a little bit different scoring, should be better at the Plantation course. So if you are playing Showdown, if you're considering first round leaders, oftentimes, books are not going to differentiate between which course, and some of them might not be smart enough to figure it out. So make sure your first round leader bets are on the Plantation side. Make sure your Showdown lineups are probably also on the Plantation side, right? That's just going to be the easier course. So when we're looking at the course correlation here, we are in that time of year. right? We are in that time of year where the accuracy tends to reign supreme. You think about guys who have won or had success at this event, Webb Simpson, Kevin Kisner, Matt Kuchar, right? Like accurate drivers. You don't have to be overly long. There's an emphasis on playing out of the short grass and then trying to find a hot putter. So what we see here is there's really only one correlated stat to success over the years that really stands out. There's, putting is above average, around the green is above average, but it's driving accuracy. 5th out of 110 courses that they've used in the last dozen years, which means there's only 4 other courses in which driving accuracy has been more highly correlated to success. So again, this is that run of golf. We're going to get to next year and you're going to start to see driving distance and you're going to start to see approach play being more important. And approach play is going to be important this week, but you're going to start to see that bear out in the correlation model. So which types of golfers? Well, everybody's in play. Again, I'll get this question 1,000 times during the live chat. Just because you're long off the tee doesn't mean you can't win. That's always going to be an advantage. Maybe you're hitting 3. We saw this with Matthew Wolff a couple of weeks ago, right? He was able to kind of club down a little bit at Mayakoba and find success that way. So it's an interesting dynamic, but when you start to look at the winners and the types of guys who have had success here, you can see that there is a path for basically everybody. Let's go over to the cheat sheet and look at the $10,000 range. Small range. 5 guys. Scotty Scheffler is 10-9. Webb Simpson is 10-7. Louis is 10-4. And then Cam Smith and Harris English are 10-3 and 10-1. It's kind of interesting. Scotty Scheffler, a well-deserved $10,900 price tag. He's been excellent. Nearly won in Mayakoba. Probably should have won in Houston. Has played here once. Finished 5th in 2020. This is probably well deserved, but let's look at Scotty Scheffler when he gets into these situations where he's very expensive. So Scotty's only ever been over $10,000 5 other times. One of them was last week, and of course he finished 2nd there. One of them was the Zurich Classic. We can throw that one out. It was the team event, although he did play well with his partner. But essentially, I'm going to throw out the Zurich Classic. The 4 other times that he has been over $10,000, he has gained strokes on the field, some of them pretty significantly. When he was 10,200 at Bermuda, he finished 3rd. When he was 10,900 last week, he finished 2nd. Valero, he finished 54th in Sanderson. He finished 37th, but he still gained DraftKings points on the field that week. So it's really hard to be like, wow, maybe you should fade Scotty Scheffler this week. In fact, of the 9 times, the 9 most expensive instances of Scotty Scheffler, he has gained gained points on the field every single time. So I don't think that you should really shy away from the price tag on Scotty Scheffler. There could be an argument made that he could be 11,000, he could be 11,100. He's been playing that well. The rest of this 10K range, I think, is so fascinating. I was really hoping for a $9,700 Webb Simpson, and maybe that was wishful thinking. He's 10,700. He's the 2nd most expensive golfer. I was ready to kind of be really all in on Webb. Had a really weird year. It was virus plus neck injury, didn't play well, didn't get a chance to tee it up at some of the better spots for him. It was just a weird year. I'm ready to write this off. I say this all the time, from fairway through green, Webb is one of the best players on the planet. When you get one of the 5 or 6 courses a year that really sets up for him, you have to be excited about it. Now, if you look at his results around Sea Island here, this withdrawal in 2017, you can basically write this off. So he gained 4 strokes on the field. He actually withdrew after 2 rounds to be with his ailing father. And he was in like a T12 position after 2 rounds. So golf-wise, he has been excellent in his, 8 trips to Sea Island. Never won, but he's got 2 runner-up finishes, a 7th, a 3rd, a 12th. I mean, no worse than a 36th. So this is a great spot for him. I was just really hoping that he'd be $1,000 or $800 cheaper. And I'm going to see how this ownership plays out. If people go to Louis, if people go to Harris English or Cam Smith. The bottom 2 are really interesting. We haven't seen Harris English since he withdrew at the CJ Cup, missed the cut at the Shriners the week before that. I'm dying to see his ownership, but Cam Smith, 10,300. Would you be surprised to learn that Cam Smith finished 15th last week? Because I kind of was, as I was watching him fly up the leaderboard on the weekend. And it's Cam Smith, not Scotty Scheffler, that when you go to the Holy Grail and you put everybody on their last 16 rounds, it's Cam Smith who's been the best one. And that to me kind of left me scratching my head because I hadn't thought he had played that well, but it's true. He has. Here are the results for Smith, who has 3 top 15 finishes in a row. You go back to the end of last season, played well at the Olympics. I just think that the combination of him kind of quietly moving up the leaderboard, nobody really super excited to play him, maybe more excited to play Scotty and Webb. I'm very interested to see what the community does here with Cam Smith because he might be the guy in the 10K range. Now, there is a guy in the 9K range. There's a guy here. I've already bet him. It's Corey Conners, $9,900. This to me feels mispriced. I will probably roll with Corey Conners in a fairly significant way this week. So we have not seen Corey since it's been over a month. It's been the Shriners. That's the last time we saw him. That was over a month ago. Finished T40, was horrendous on approach. Spoiler alert, he is not going to be horrendous on approach again. It's just such an outlier for him to do that. Has gained strokes off the tee in every single measured event dating back to the API. That was in March. That was like 17 events ago. Piles up top 20s. Piles up these great finishes. Nobody ever wants to play the guy. It's fascinating stuff. Then you look at what he's done at the RSM Classic. Well, what do you know? 37th, 23rd, and 10th in his last 3 trips. He's a very bad putter on all surfaces. However, he is not as bad on Bermuda, which is what we're going to get this week. So that to me is a pretty bad misprice. And I think he continues to stay pretty low owned because we've got Neiman in this range. We have Russell Henley in this range. We have Taylor Gooch in this range. We have Kevin Kisner in this range. Like the 9K range is a grab bag. Whatever you want to get out of it, you can get. Probably ready to roll right back out on Henley, right? He was someone that I was very high on last week, finished 7th, had a couple of moments on Sunday that he kind of played himself out of it in 2 holes, but listen, he's great approach player, has had decent success here. Taylor Gooch is interesting because Taylor Gooch, hottest player on the planet this season, finished 60th last week, but I don't know how concerned I should be about that. Probably not concerned at all. Here's the live leaderboard from last week. This is actually a free tool, so you can go look at this. Let me pull up Gooch here. He was out like a bandit in round 1, right? He was tied for the 18-hole lead. Was putting well. He was Gooch. That's what he was. He was ball striking and he was rolling a good putter. The final 3 rounds were horrendous. Lost strokes across the board. I don't even care that he lost 5 strokes putting. He's not a very good putter, but a little bit concerned about the ball striking. I'm willing to write this off a little bit because 1, this was a weird week where we had guys that were finishing their first round on Friday, finishing their second round on Saturday. It almost doomed Jason Kokrak when he had that 8-hole stretch that he played at 8 over. It was just kind of a weird week, and I'm willing to write off kind of a lot of this. The opening round was very exciting. So now that he's played, let's see, 20 rounds, let's actually do it this way. Let's go over to the Holy Grail. Let's go by rounds. We'll pull up Gooch's by round stuff here. He has played 20 rounds this season. He has gained strokes on the field in 13 of 20. Pretty great clip. And 3 of them were last week, which I'm willing to write off. So no problem there. So I'm willing to roll back out on Gooch. I wonder what people are going to do with him. And then the other one is Kevin Kisner. I'm already I just know everybody's going to go to Kiss. Everybody's going to go to Kiss. He is dominant here, right? Lost in a playoff to Robert Streb last year. Has a win. He has the tournament record here. I hope he doesn't do that for the promo. I hope he doesn't go to like 28 under or something like that. That'll be a lot of refunds I'll have to make. 7th and 19, 4th and 18. Let's deep dive this Kevin Kisner situation here. Since Kisner's victory at Wyndham, he's been objectively pretty bad. 2 missed cuts, a 66th, a 54th. The 54th was at a no-cut event. The 66 was at a no-cut event, right? So probably would have missed the cut in those weeks, not striking it well at all. Let's look at what he's done before the RSM Classic in the past. Well, here was his runner-up finish. He had played pretty well on approach leading into that. He had gained in basically 6 of 8 leading into that. The putter was really good, so no problems there. Missed the cut 2 years ago, was playing okay leading into it, but he has a lot of events that weren't measured leading into it. The T7 in 18, well, I'll tell you what, this would be a pretty good evidence for Kisner this week, because the T7 in 18, he was horrendous before it. I mean, he had lost strokes on approach in, oh my God, like 9 of 10. The putter was still there, which is a good sign. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, I was not expecting this, but even before his 2017 T4, he wasn't playing all that well. So we have seen, okay, all right, well, here we go. I bend the knee to the data, right? We have seen Kisner play pretty bad leading into Sea Island and play well in the past. We have seen that. There is evidence of that. That is what you would be asking him to do again this week. Is there some type of parallel to Jason Kokrak last week, which the premise of Jason Kokrak last week was he hasn't been playing well, but this should be the perfect fit for him. That was literally the words I said. Couldn't we say that about Kisner? He's playing bad, but this should be a perfect spot for him. Maybe we get one of those situations again. I might be warming on Kisner here in the moment. The 8K range has got a couple of interesting options here. One is Mackenzie Hughes. He is $8,600. We are seeing some better, more consistent play out of, oh my gosh, I have so many names in here now in the database. I can't just type the first 3 letters anymore. We have seen some really inspiring results from Mackenzie Hughes recently. He hasn't missed a cut since the Memorial. That was in June. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 events in a row in which he's made the cut. Couple of top 25s here recently. Played well in Houston last week. Has won this event before. So he is someone that I'd be pretty interested in working with. There is also Joel Damon played well on Sunday to finish 5th in Houston. I think that's okay. It pains me. Every fiber of my being pains me to not be all that interested in Seamus Power this week, who I'm just an absolute believer in. But there's a couple of things that I think are concerning. Lost a stroke on approach last week, which is kind of against his DNA. You would expect that to improve, but if there's a sticky stat, it's strokes gained approach. The other problem is this is going to be his 5th trip to Sea Island. The other 4 have been pretty terrible. 3 missed cuts and a 74th. So maybe this is just a place that doesn't suit him well, coming off of kind of an ugly missed cut. I'm happy to jump on Seamus at any point here in the very short, near future, but I think we have to take a pass this week, and it hurts me to say that. 7K range, massive little range here. Massive and little probably don't go together. But Adam Long, are we in the midst of an Adam Long run here? Right, this has worked out 3 weeks in a row. We've gotten it right 3 weeks in a row. I don't know how long you can ride Adam Long. However, again, this is the time of year where accuracy is important. This is the time of year where Adam Long should thrive. Accurate, not very long off the tee, despite the last name. He now this is like 30 events in a row. He has either finished inside the top 30 or missed the cut. So at least you know you're getting a boom or bust guy. 11th last week. So now 11th, 22nd, and 25th in his last 3. You look for evidence at Sea Island. Well, 30th and 35th the last 2 years, made the cut in those 2. Is it one more week? Are we getting greedy now on Adam Long? We're going to find out. Couple of really strong options here. One, I think you have to sprint to bet Luke List and probably roster him as well. So he is not a safe option. No one has ever said Luke List is safe. His putter is horrendous. Missed a couple on Sunday in Houston that were atrocious. But look at these results. 11th missed cut, 7th missed cut, 17th. Those are his last 5. That's okay. When you go over to the trends tool, so this is a really cool breakout candidates chart where it says if every golfer gets back to their own putting baseline and they continue to hit it well, what can you expect? Well, Luke List and Louis Oosthuizen are kind of like the top 2 here. Luke List continues to strike it well, and even though he's a poor putter, he's still really putting below his baseline, which is hard to believe. That's how bad the putter has been for Luke List, but he's still putting below his baseline. What did he actually lose last week? He was, let me sort this by strokes gained. He lost 5.7 strokes over 4 rounds last week. He was the only guy in the top, well, him and Aaron Rai, who we'll talk about, basically in the top 20 to lose strokes putting. That's how good the ball striking is, and this is still below his baseline. So I think there is a real merit. See, I saw Troy Merritt, and Merritt came into mind. There's a real merit for rostering Luke List. So I think we've got Adam Long as a decent option, Luke List as a decent option, both very, very volatile. Aaron Rai, 7,400. You just saw him in the breakout candidates. You just saw him on the live leaderboard because how great his ball striking was last week, right? So what did he do last week? Let's see. He was excellent off the tee, 2.4. He was excellent on approach, 4th in the field. Lost 2 strokes putting. Lost a stroke around the green. Aaron Rai, pretty good option here. Also, I think maybe a hair safer than Luke List and Adam Long, but just by a hair. Patrick Rodgers, again, I'm not giving you any safe options here. I'm not sure there are any. Patrick Rodgers continues to kind of alternate these really good versus really bad finishes. And we know that when Patrick Rodgers is going right, it's approach play and it is putting. Last 4 starts, the 4 starts this season, 6th cut, 4th cut. Volatile. You look at what he's done at the RSM Classic, you're going to get a similar style result, or a similar style, table. You're going to get 3 missed cuts, a runner-up, a 10th place finish, and a 44th. Just kind of very, very volatile. So if that's what you're looking for, there are plenty of boom or bust options in the 7K range. Is there anybody safe here? Is Danny Lee safe? Danny Lee, a 7th and a 2nd at Bermuda and Mayakoba. And not only that, he showed up in the optimal lineup in both of those weeks. Now, he is much more expensive this week, so it'll be less likely that he shows up in the optimal unless he actually wins this golf tournament. So not necessarily prepared to declare Danny Lee as super safe or anything like that, but just kind of like generally interesting. Maybe Alex Smalley is the safest guy in this range. He's 7,100. Korn Ferry Tour grad, right? So here are the 5. He's played 5 times already. Is that every single event? No, because he couldn't play Zozo or CJ Cup. But I think he's played every event that he's been eligible for. So 5 starts. Missed the cut at the Fortinet, his very first start as, I believe, a full-time PGA Tour member. I can write that off, no problem. Since then, 31st, 47th, 12th, and 15th. The other thing that I think appears to be safe about him is in the 11 measured tournaments that I have in the database on him. That's all he's ever played on the PGA Tour, 11 measured tournaments. He is basically a positive player in each of the strokes gained categories. He's above average in off the tee, slightly above average on approach, slightly above average on around the green, and he's a minus 0.01 on the putting surface. So we'll just call that neutral. So when you don't have one real strength or one real flaw, it makes you kind of consistent. It makes you kind of pile up some of these, top 30 finishes, which is what he seems to be doing at the moment. So I don't really mind this. I don't know how safe you want to go here at 7,100, but Smalley seems to be playing really, really well. Oh, okay. And then finally at a flat 7, actually, there's 2 guys at flat 7. Lucas Glover, he shows up also on that trends tool as like a bounce back candidate, someone who's striking it well, just needs to putt to his own baseline, which is, again, not very good, but that's okay. And then Denny McCarthy. How about this guy? Are we really getting signs of life from Denny now? Right? I had a lot of Denny exposure last week, and he played hero ball on Sunday to shoot, I believe it was the round of the day, to finish 11th in Houston. So now he's got 4 top 40s out of his last 5, with 3 of them being top 17s, has played well here in the past. 8th place finish 2 years ago. We know he's great on Bermuda and every surface. We know maybe last week was a little silly asking him to try to pull it off on a really long course. Now this is a lot shorter course where just being in the fairway is important. I do want to look at his Denny's final round last week and see something. I'm sure so gained 3 around the green, nearly another 3 on the putting surface, but that's kind of his DNA, right? What did he do for the week? 0 off the tee and 0 on approach. That's kind of good for Denny. That's kind of his path, isn't it? So I think we got to go. I think we got to run him out one more time. Before I get down to the 6K, there's already a couple guys that I think are like good spot guys, right? If this was a football game, we'd call it like a spot game. What I also want to do before I forget is I want to go to the Holy Grail, and I want to add in par 70s that are under like 7,050 yards or so. Like I want like kind of like shorter par 70s. This should get me what I'm looking for, I believe. Let me just confirm. Yeah, okay. All right, yes. So this is getting your like Waialaes, your like your RSM Classics, your Traveler, stuff like that. So let's sort by strokes gained total. Webb, just dominant on these. Like not just the best player in the field by far. Charles Howell III is next. He's 7,800. So we've already passed his range. 7,800, has won this event. I mean, this is really him dominating Sony and dominating at RSM. Zozo was pretty good too. Interesting. But I want to start to see where we get to the 6K guys. Jimmy Walker is in here, but a lot of these results were the 2 wins at Waialae. He has not been that good recently. Brendan Steele, that's probably going to come from, again, well, that's coming from a lot of success all over the place. Travelers, not much at the RSM, but Waialae as well. I'm trying to see if there's anybody like Harmon. That makes sense, right? I'm just trying to see what's in here. Yeah, Brian Harmon makes a lot of sense. Brian Harmon's had a lot of short course success at a lot of different courses. Some of these guys have a lot of success just at one spot. But you look at Travelers, he's got 5th and 8th and a 6th and a 35th in his last 4. You look at Sony, 56th, 32nd, miscut 4th. You look at RSM, miscut 14th, 32nd, 4th. I mean, this is pretty darn good. But again, I'm not finding many guys in that 6K range. Zach Johnson is one of the first guys in the 6K range. Finished 6th here last year. So Zach Johnson hasn't missed a cut on a short par 70 since the 2019 Sony Open. That's like 7 events in a row by my count. That's not bad. Okay, I just want to see if anything stood out a little bit on maybe Zach Johnson. Andrew Landry has finished 4th here in 2 of the last 4 years, finished 7th at Mayakoba, finished 4th at Sanderson Farms. Again, not a safe option, but kind of a little bit of a specialist here on these types of courses. This could absolutely be a NeSmith week. You know, we've been waiting for NeSmith to kind of break out. One of the better approach players on the PGA Tour has played here twice, 15th and 14th. Has been okay. He's been fine. Is this the week that he puts it all together? Like that's kind of what we've been waiting on and looking for. Just kind of peeling through the 6Ks to see if there's anybody else. I guess maybe you get one last crack to roll out JJ Spawn, who's played really well, 5 cuts in a row, a couple of top 30s, a 7th in Bermuda, has finished runner-up here in the past. This might be your last crack at JJ Spawn before we get to, I guess maybe Pebble if he played at Pebble, but you know, we're going to start to get into some bigger, stronger golf courses that are going to really start to filter out some of these guys. But this is swing season, baby. And, he might be one more go around. Is there anybody in the $6,000 range that I can make fun of and, turn him into a top 5 like Martin Trainer last week? Oh boy, that would have been really scary if he won that golf tournament, but good for him. I saw an interview with him and listen, golf is hard. It's hard to keep your tour card. Good for Martin Trainer. But is there anybody else down here that I would be particularly interested in? The answer might be no to that question. I think it's no. Let's run a model. This is the custom model on rickrungood.com. We can put in any set of variables for any time period that we want. Let's go I want like really recent extremes here, right? That's the point of this custom model, isn't it? So let's go 16 rounds, which for the most part for all these guys is going to be just this season, which I think is really good. Let's heavily weigh accuracy, 30% and 10 on distance. Let's go approach for 20. Let's go putting for 15. Let's go birdie or better, because I think you're going to have to make a lot of them for 20. How much does that leave me with? Well, I've got 5 left. So let's do 25 on birdie or better. Last 16 equals 100. Sort this and see my power. Oh boy. Yes. I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled that Corey Conners is number 1. I'm so thrilled. Now I just have every excuse to just lose all my money on Corey Conners this week. Corey Conners, the number 1 golfer in my model. Cam Smith, the number 2, which again shows me his last 16 have been so good. So good. Joel Damon is 3rd. Kind of love to see that. Henley is 4. Usti is 5. Hudson Swafford is 6. Adam Hadwin is 7. That's interesting. Glover is 8. Adam Scott is 9. Hayden Buckley is 10. Where does like Scotty Scheffler show up? 14th. Webb Simpson 17th. That's because he hasn't been all that good recently. Harris English is 20th. I'm just pointing out notables at this point. Neiman is 60th. Wow. That's a little bit surprising. Okay. Then you get into the 6K. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that really stands out. Okay, cool. Interesting. All right. Well, that leaves me with a little bit of homework to do on Hudson Swafford and Adam Hadwin probably, and kind of figure out where I feel on Adam Scott, but definitely how much money can I lose on Corey Conners feels like the question to be answered this week. Again, Thursday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern time. That's the deadline to get into the RSM promotion. It is the only promotion of the year, and you've got to bet me for it. So you're out there praying for no wins, wet, lift, clean, and place, 29 under par. That's what you're rooting for. I'm rooting for wind off the ocean, wet and nasty, chilly conditions, and the Plantation course playing harder than expected, and it gets to like 12 under. I don't think that's going to happen. The average winning score has been like 19 or 20. I'm mentally preparing for 9. Like if it goes, I'm mentally prepared for 20. I think if it goes to 21 or worse, you guys have won. If it goes to 19 or I guess better, maybe that would be worse. 19 or lower, I think I've won, but I'm mentally preparing myself for 20%. So get yourself involved. It's the only promotion I'll run all year, I promise. Otherwise, tweet me at RickRunGood. Leave a comment below. Best of luck, and I'll talk to you guys soon.